Today we're being rejoined by a very special guest from the North Melbourne AFLW side. So the last time we spoke, she's appeared in 3 grand finals, has kicked the first goal in the 2024 grand final, won that premiership, then gone back-to-back this year in 2025. Well, not this year technically now, but Tess Craven, welcome back and appreciate you coming on.
Thanks so much for having me.
No worries. Now, since back then, since the 2023 grand final, it's been a whirlwind for yourself and the Roos girls, hasn't it? The heartbreak loss in 23, that wanting to get payback on the Brisbane Lions and have done that in successful fashion the back-to-back years. How the hell can you sum the last 3 grand finals and the last 2 and a bit years?
Yeah, it has been a bit of a whirlwind. I think, given 2023, we came into that grand final, running on a lot of momentum from our finals wins that we hadn't beaten at that stage. We hadn't beaten Melbourne for a very long time, and we hadn't beaten the Crows. And so, there was a lot of momentum having beaten those teams the first time. But I think we just ran out of gas for the grand final. I think we just got beaten by a more experienced team on the day. And honestly, I think we're better for it now. It's easy to say that in hindsight, but I think it gave us that fire and that motivation that really has fueled us since then, I guess. Obviously last 2 years ago now, obviously 2024, winning that first one, we had that goal in mind the whole time to, reach that ultimate success that we hadn't reached just yet. And then after that, I think last year being 2025, it was a bit different. It wasn't like we were striving for something we'd achieved before. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like we were trying to get our first ever or anything like that. Like, we knew what we were setting out to achieve, and we knew what was required. And, we can't just rest on our laurels and hope it's going to happen again. So, the second one was, I always say I think it meant just a little bit more, because at least me personally, I really had that sort of winning feeling and those winning celebrations and everything in mind. That's what I wanted to achieve again. And I didn't see any reason why we couldn't get there. And so, when we got there again, it was really such an incredible feeling and something we'd worked really hard for.
For sure. Obviously, going back to back is something special, and a lot of clubs in any competition don't have the luxury of doing that. So then, especially to bounce back off against the same side in all 3 grand finals, and they had the luxury the first time in Brisbane, then to beat them the second 2 times, you go into the next season probably wanting in 2024, that is 2024, to go to the Brisbane. We want to get payback on them and try to make amends for the grand final the previous year, then go and do that in back-to-back years. It's like, how do you feel going into that after that first one, considering you hadn't won any at that point in time, to try and get to where you now have gotten to?
I think it wasn't so much like we want to get revenge on Brisbane or anything like that. I think that sort of happened organically. I don't think it's something we've prioritized in our development as a squad. I think it's just been a shift probably from like that more opposition focused approach to like, we're very process driven. So we even if we win by a lot, for example, there's still many things we can take out of the game to become better. And I think after 2023, I think that really clicked for all of us. And then in 2024, it was just luck that we happened to play Brisbane first game. So we got to test, we got to go up against them again. But I also think it's a credit to Brisbane. They're such a good team and such an experienced outfit. So they keep making it there, and so do we, I guess. So it's more just a coincidence more than anything. I think, we try not to have specific opposition in mind or anything, because the second you take your eye off someone, they can beat you. And that's something we've really tried to avoid. And I think it's held us in good stead for the past couple of years.
Sure. Then obviously in that 2024 grand final, obviously very well known, kicking the first goal of the game, just a big moment. Obviously a pretty cool moment at that time before everything had started post those games. How did you feel at that moment? Was that probably the biggest pressure at that point in time pre that? having that shot at the first goal of a grand final?
You'd think so, but I wasn't really nervous, weirdly enough, when it happened. I think it's sort of a weird feeling the past couple of grand finals. You'd think there's a lot of pressure and a lot of nerves, but I think that those games have been some of the most freeing sort of games because, there's no next week either way. So what do you have to lose? Obviously there's a lot of pressure in terms of like the occasion and stuff, but it's just such a cool thing to be a part of. And I think that's a real credit to our program, is that like the past couple of years, we've just felt really excited to get there, not nervous or anything like that. So yeah, when it did fall into my lap, quite literally, 2024, I think I couldn't envision myself missing it because, how many times have I practiced that shot in my career? So, I didn't think about missing, which I think probably helped. But I'm just glad I could take that moment, and obviously everything that followed on that night was really good as well.
Absolutely, definitely was. And if you want to kind of like compare post-game reactions, obviously the first year in 23 obviously been heartbreaking, and then you having the ultimate best feeling you'd ever have in a footballer's career, having back-to-back victories. If you try and compare the two tests, because I feel like they were a similar trend. I remember the first quarter in 24 was very dominant and kind of like kickstarted that quarter. I think Alice might have kicked 3 goals in that first quarter as well, and they kind of got that big lead there. Then last year, or 2025, was very similar but a little bit different. When you compare the two, which one would you say is the better one of the two? Would it be the first one, or would it be the most recent one? It'd be hard either way, I guess.
They're different. Like they're just different occasions, I guess. Even if we bring in 2023, I think that occasion was the first time any of us had been there, and we were just it was overwhelming because there's so much that comes along with the grand final week. There's not just a game of footy, and I think we just got overwhelmed with the occasion, really. And then with 2024, we knew the occasion way better. We knew what we were aiming for. Anything less than making the grand final again we would have seen as a fail. And not in like a sense of like, just in like we hold ourselves to that standard. And, everything fell into place when we got there. And it's that sort of, I feel like I didn't take it all in probably because it was so much was happening and I'd never experienced it before. And I was just, I don't want to say overwhelmed again, but I was just completely like almost bamboozled with the amount of stuff that was going on. Winning a premiership personally is, every football player's dream. But then to do it at the highest level, to do it with such an amazing group, to do it pretty convincingly, and at such a young age, that was just it was obviously so exciting, but it was also so unprecedented because you don't know what's coming. And then last year, I think we obviously knew we were still striving for the same thing and we didn't see any reason why we couldn't get there. And then to achieve it again, I think I more consciously made an effort to slow down and take in everything that was happening around me. Because it is an absolute whirlwind, especially the day or two after. It's just an absolute whirlwind, really hard to keep up with. So I think I made a conscious effort just to make sure I was present and I was there in the moment and I was fully taking it all in because, just because it's happened, we've won 2 in 2 years. There are so many players that go their whole career and never achieve that. And success is permanent. So there'll be a time in my career when I really want to look back on those memories and all those feelings from that time. So yeah, just probably more of a bit more calm and like, not as frantic, but just sort of enjoying it more, I think.
For sure. Then obviously team success sometimes brings the individual heartbreak. And unfortunately, being a strong side, there's always going to be so many players that miss out, like in 2023, and they're losing grand finals. A few players that have now played in those 2 grand finals that didn't get to play in 2023. Then in 2024, unfortunately, Isaac Shannon was the tough one that missed out and then got to play in this year's one. And this year was me, King, who got to play in the previous one. How do you get around those two, in particular in those 2 years and those 2 successful grand finals, when obviously they would both want to be in those grand finals, but luckily both for them, they've at least had it at some point through those 2 years as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of we have a really strong whole squad mentality. It's not just the 21 girls who play on the weekend. I think it's all 30 of us, or 31, or however many. It takes the whole squad to get there, especially with AFLW list sizes. They're not that big. And, we saw this year or last year we had multiple injuries, and we had to rely on so many players. We had to really rely on our depth and our whole squad. And I think that's something we carry through, obviously on the football field, but also we all love each other a lot, and we really want to take care of each other, and it feels a lot like a family. So, when someone's in that unfortunate situation where selection hasn't gone their way for whatever reason, especially on such big stakes being the grand final.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can't say the right thing. There is nothing right to say. You're not going to say something and magically make it okay for them. I think part of it is just acknowledging how difficult it is, and letting them have their space and time, but also letting them know that they're loved and they're a part of the group. And this wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't be where we were if it weren't for them. And I think a lot of the credit has to go to the people who are left out and their character and how they don't make it about themselves. And they're there for us who are playing, and we're there for them in return. And yeah, it's not to repeat myself, but it is that whole squad mentality, and everyone wants to do whatever is best for the team on the day. For
sure. What is it about Croc? Obviously, the girls obviously talk about him so much in high regard, not just because he's a successful coach and winning grand finals and everything like that. But what's so special about Croc that you may have not noticed with some previous coaches you've had at any other level compared to how he goes about it?
Well, yeah. It's probably hard for me to say because he's the only AFL coach I've ever had. And I think that's obviously such a big distinction from previous coaches, just the level. But I think Croc's a people person. Like, we always make a joke that you can't go anywhere with Croc without him running into someone he knows. And that's because he's really personable, and he puts in such an effort to get to know the person outside of the athlete. And I think that makes us all feel really valued beyond just what we do on the football field. And he's really drummed home, especially this year or last year, he's really drummed home that being a part of our program should make you a better footballer, but it should also make you a better person. And I think the environment he's created and all the staff have created at North, it allows us to all be the best people we can be, but also our authentic selves, and not having to change when we walk through the doors. And when you can be yourself without any sort of fear or judgment, I think you just get the best out of yourself. And then from a footy side of things, I just think he's always thinking about how we can be better. He's always thinking about how we can take our game as a team to the next level. He knows exactly what each player should be doing to get better, strengths and weaknesses, and he gives up so much time to help people individually. Whether that's teaching some of the Irish girls how to kick or how to bounce, or he takes people aside, and he's always free and he always gives up his time. And yeah, he's so passionate about what he does, and I think he really loves it as well. I think he loves being a part of the program, and he really enjoys it just as much as we all do. And yeah, we're super lucky to have him and everything he's provided for our program. We wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Croc, no doubt.
Sure. Now, you just mentioned the Irish girls, and obviously there's a plethora throughout the whole entire competition, but Blaheem Brogue's the one that probably stands out with Erica O'Shea, who played a 50th in the grand final coincidentally, which kind of gets overshadowed a little bit because of the occasion and everything like that. But Blaheem Brogue's season, was in the squad last year. We speak about names that missed out last year. She didn't play a single AFLW game last year and hadn't played a game before that, and then goes and plays every game this year, completely dominates it, and is in an All-Australian and in a premiership player. The Irish girls, what do they provide on and off the field?
Yeah, Blah's incredible. Hey, I just think to come to another country and learn a sport you barely know and learn it for a year. She had shoulder complications in the off season last year too. And to come over and have the season she had, that doesn't happen by accident. It happens through hard work, happens through commitment. I couldn't imagine being in their position, having all of the Irish girls having to leave home to come play. It would be so incredibly challenging, and I really applaud them for their commitment to the club, for whatever reason they've decided to commit to us, and aren't we grateful for it? But obviously, they bring that signature Irish speed and flair that just is irreplaceable, I guess. As athletes, they just bring so much from agility, speed. Vicky brings her power and her strength, and you can't pin them down as athletes. They're just one of a kind, and that's noticeable across the whole league. But then, I can only obviously speak for the girls we've got, but they really, really buy into our culture. And sorry, my things.
That's all right.
They really buy into our culture. Oh my God, stop it.
It's crazy. I'll pause it.
And then obviously can only speak for the Irish girls that we have. From a cultural perspective, they buy right into our team. They're so ready to learn as well, and obviously they also keep the attributes that make them such incredible athletes on their own, but then also fully try and learn everything they can about our game. And they give up so much of their time, and they're so good to have around. They're great crack, as they would always say. We're so lucky that they chose us, with Ricky for many, many years, nearly as long as me with Rick. We've grown up here. But then we keep getting such incredible people. And I feel like I keep saying this, but we really are people first in our program. And we just seem to keep getting really quality people that then become quality athletes as well.
For sure. When you first meet some of these girls, any of them individually, how long did it take you to understand how they speak and understand what they're saying to you, or vice versa?
Some are worse than others. Vicky was always fine. AGM is fine, but Blahin, and especially Blahin, but Erica. Erica was bad at the start, but I think that's just because didn't have much exposure to our Irish girls. Yeah. But then Blahin, because she's from Northern Ireland, so she's got a bit of a different accent. And that was challenging for a while, especially because I speak really fast as well. But I've got it. I think I've got it covered now. But every now and then we still have to ask, sorry, what do you say? Just every now and then. But that's okay.
For sure. Now, we talk about post-game celebrations. They always get talked about, and we've heard a few stories of a few names. And I want to say what you say. Who was best on ground off the field post-game celebrations?
I'm sure this is an answer that's repeated a lot. Is Jasmine Ferguson, I would say. She loves a celebration, that girl. She loves a bit of fun, as she should, But definitely her, no doubt.
For sure. I mean, in previous years, I've seen a few stories pop up online and everything like that. I think Alice fell off a table, and then there's a few other things going around as well. The year after, and post-game celebration, we hear it at the Arden Street after the grand finals. It's some pretty cool ones. But obviously this year, too, Tess, obviously winning makes everything much easier. But who's some players that you reckon that kind of fly under the radar a little bit? Not so much the Riddells, the Garners, etc. But someone that kind of flies under the radar that probably didn't get talked about as much this year, or someone that did. They were really impressed with how they went this year, or just drastically improved.
Well, at the start of the season, I said I thought Blahin was going to have a really good season.
There you go. Right. Yes, she did.
But then, aside from that, because she's obviously got a lot of work, completely deserved external attention. It's been a while, hey. So
it has.
I think Jenna Bruton's really underrated, just because she has given up her position in the midfield to play forward because it's for the betterment of the team. And I think we forget how skilled she is, and how she makes such good decisions. And that came out in the grand final. Like, it was her day that day, and I'm so pleased for her. I think she can just go under the radar because, of the people we have in our squad. That's my cat. There we go. All right, thank you. I'll forget. Who else? Amy Smith as well. I think but that's the sort of player she is. Like, she doesn't demand attention. She does her thing. She plays her role, and we as a team are so grateful for that. I say this to a lot of people, but we wouldn't be the team we are without Smitty. She's a winger like me, but she doesn't lose one-on-ones. She's so selfless. She's so team first, in how she plays. She came fourth in the best and fairest, which I'm so pleased for her because she so deserves it. And she's just the ultimate teammate. So happy to go with those two.
What's it like having some of the experienced girls on the sides, like the Emma Carneys, Kate Shields, Libby Birch, obviously some of the older statesmen in the side? I'm not saying they're old, but older in the team. What do they provide besides on field? Obviously, Emma Carney's been someone who's dominated, been all Australian level, all squad at worst, the last few years. Just when she's on the field, not just the on-field presence, but the leadership side of things as well, and with those players in particular.
Carnes is a born leader, I guess. And then I think her decision to give up the captaincy, I think really highlights how team first she is and how she just wants to do whatever is best for the team, and as a group. What's best for us going forward. And I think Jamin being captain this year, she really fulfilled that role. Not better or worse than Carnes, just different. They were different leaders, and I think Jamin was at the time where she could come in and lead the team, and she has a really calm presence. She makes sure we never take it too seriously, but also that we're working hard. She always checks in on you. Again, broken record, but she's such a good person, and she really works on, engaging with everyone, so that then she gets the best out of us. And then Carnes, her communication on field, she can see what's going to happen before it happens. Because, ever since she moved from the midfield to the half back line, she can kind of act like a conductor. She can set up things off that half back line. And then, when she pushes up the ground, she makes such good decisions. But we're really spoiled with the amount of leaders we have. We're a young but experienced outfit, which has held us in really good stead over the last couple of years.
Sure. There was a certain quote that a certain Hawthorn player said to Carnes during one of the final series. I had to laugh because I spoke to her after the game about it, which was pretty funny. She was called too slow, yet the same player that called her that in current play couldn't actually chase her. Just to see her form and age, I thought it was very ironic that the player chasing someone called her old and slow, yet couldn't even chase her, and that player was like 10 years younger. So anyway, whatever. I thought that was very interesting. Now, heading into 2026, we're currently now in it, but in terms of the football season, obviously a little break now until pre-season and everything like that. Obviously, you rejuvenated the draft and bringing in Chrissy Lee Western Turner into the squad just to add more great acquisitions to the team. What do you feel like going into this year? Do you feel like you could play a similar role in the wing test? Obviously, versatility is important for a lot of players these days as well. Where do you see yourself heading into this year? Maybe even some goals if you've got any already.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I haven't thought about it so much. It's that time of year where you just focus on improving your fitness, and just getting back into that routine again. I think my role will be very similar. I think as we mature as a team and as we, pick up different people, I think Croc, we even saw it a bit more in 2025. I think Croc is more prepared to throw the magnets around. And people have multiple roles. I played a bit of back in the past. I played forward a bit this year. So honestly, whatever the team needs, I enjoy going forward. I think that's somewhere where I can help the team. But as far as I know, I'm pretty sure it will be very similar. Chrissy Lee's like a tall forward type.
Yes.
but very athletic, obviously, as well. So yeah, can't wait to see what she brings with our other pickups as well. Yeah, obviously the dynamic will change as new people come in. It always does,
Yeah.
but that's the thing with our staff and Croc and our coaches. They meld us together really well into the outfit that can perform as we've performed over the past couple of years.
For sure. You just mentioned before too about not taking, you taking the 2025 grand final differently to how you maybe did in 2024. How were those post grand final? When that siren went, obviously both grand finals, there was a good lead, so I suppose you kind of knew a little bit before then. When you compare the two final sirens, how were those two particular moments? The moment that siren went.
Oh goodness. Well, 2024, I was on the bench, so we were all kind of just waiting to run on.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny how that worked out. The running on, it was just like so much emotion, elation, like a mass. I don't really remember it, to be honest. I've watched it on footage a lot, but I don't remember it as I was there.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a blur, really. And then I think with the 2025 one, I think it was more like a release, like relief in a way, because we'd worked so hard all year, we'd not lost a game, we'd survived the prelim, we'd done so much work to be this team that we've portrayed ourselves to be, and if we were to fall at the final hurdle, like that would be crushing, like that would be soul crushing. And so the fact that it was done, we played pretty good footy that day. Like the grand final, we played pretty well. And for it all to come together, it was just like relief. Like it was not that it wouldn't be worth it if we didn't win, but this was our goal again. And we didn't let up on it the whole time. We had it in our vision. We worked so hard. We fine-tuned our game. We got closer as a unit. And so for it to all come true, I think it was more just like we met the expectations. We can all let go of that breath we've been holding now, I guess. Sort of, yeah, that's the main difference.
For sure. Obviously, throughout the year, I mean, with so much going on, you had your 50th game. I think it was at home against Adelaide. Correct me if I'm wrong there. How was that day for you playing your 50th game? Obviously, currently now play 55, but how was that 50th game for you? How special was that? If you want to compare it into individual games like debut games, premierships, etc.
Yeah, well, my debut was nothing to talk about. So,
okay.
And it was in COVID. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was not that notable. Yeah, I mean, it was for me personally, it was such a good day. I had so much family there, I had so much support there. For it to be at Arden Street on such a beautiful day in front of a record-breaking crowd, and the fact I got to share the day with Talia Randall as well. Obviously, her milestone's a lot more impressive, but to get to enjoy that with her, I felt so lucky that a lot of things lined up perfectly for me to have such a good day. We played well as a unit. We had a good win. It was honestly like such a like, I don't want to say cup filling, but do you know what I mean? Like it was such a like it was just such a beautiful day. I felt so grateful for everything that I had. I always try to do that, but I think that day was just a real reminder of how lucky I am to be surrounded by the people I'm surrounded by, and how I get to do what I love for a living. And I wouldn't get to if I wasn't surrounded by the people I am.
Absolutely. Now, I love asking teammate questions, Tess. So these could go any which way. So the first one, who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at the Roos, and they can't get enough of it, and they know what to do when the camera's around?
Certain people would say me, but I'm going to answer Alice.
Okay, that's okay. Interesting. Any particular reason?
Oh, she loves the celly. This one.
Oh, yeah, that is very true. Who doesn't love a goal celebration, though?
Oh, Jem and Garner could celebrate a bit more.
Yeah, that's true. I might need to tell Kano to get her to do that. I'm sure he would.
Yeah, well, if Kane had his way, imagine if Kane kicked a goal, he'd go off his nut.
I know. That's if he can kick it. But anyway, we'll leave him. But yeah, there's your shout out, Kano. You're welcome. You ask me all the time. Now, who would Google themselves and watch back their own highlights?
Google themselves.
And or watch back their highlights. You probably have to be someone that has a lot of accolades, wouldn't it? Or some good accolades.
I was leaning towards Libby.
All those premierships.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with Libby.
There we go. All right. If you're stuck on a deserted island with teammates, Tess, who would you be bringing and not bringing, and why?
Gosh, how many people do I have to bring?
Oh, you can bring as many as you want. You can bring 3. You make the limit.
Oh goodness. I'd bring. Oh goodness. I'd bring Ferg because she's a good planner.
Okay. You need that.
I'm not bringing. I'm not bringing Ash because I don't think her skill set is suited for an island.
Okay.
Goodness, who would I bring?
Anyone with skills that it's got you smart enough to get you out of there?
I'll bring Ruby. Ruby's pretty onto everything. I'm not bringing Mia, and I'm not bringing Lies.
Yep.
I'm not bringing Erica.
I love the honesty because some people kind of go a bit soft on me with this question. They like to stick to
nothing against them. I just don't think the island setup would be suited for these people.
Yeah,
I'd probably bring Tessa Boyd and maybe like Taylor Gatt.
Yeah,
and that I can't think of any more, so that'll have to do for now.
Oh, that's good enough. Now, coach's bet. I've heard around what the coach's bet, who the coach's bet, sorry, may be. Who is it publicly?
Ballaretti.
There you go. Any particular reason?
Well, Taylor Gatt's close, but they always they go to the airport together.
No.
I don't know. I think their families know each other. I think so. I don't know. They're close and they're always having a chat. So it just is. It just is.
It just simply is. Now, earlier we kind of answered this question already before, I guess, but flying under the radar, like you mentioned Blaheem Bogue and you mentioned a few others as well. Is there any more players that you could think of that maybe people should look out for going into next season that you just reckon they're just about to get even better or about to burst onto the scene that maybe hasn't played much?
I think AGM was a really good pickup for us as well. I think she was overshadowed by Bla's incredible season. But with our injuries, I think she got a chance to really show. She got more chance to show what she's made of, and I think with another year under her belt, just like Bla, I think she'll really develop. And I had someone in mind, but it's gone now. Well, it sounds weird to say this, but I kind of think Ailish Sheeran, she was injured for a few games. Didn't get the chance to show, like when she got the chances in the final, she played really well. But I think if she can play, a whole season, play some really consistent footy, I think, she'll be a real powerhouse.
For sure. And I mean, Ailish is the player that I always use in examples for people that don't ever give up on your dream. She got drafted to Richmond at 29, back-to-back All-Australian, and now first year at North Melbourne, premiership player. 3 years, 3 great successes in those 3 years. It just shows that you never give up on chasing where you want to get to, right?
Yeah, exactly. And she's the ultimate professional too. She makes sure that she is at the absolute best she can be. And it's an absolute credit to her.
Absolutely. Now, if the teammates were to appear on a reality TV show, Tess, who would appear on that show and what would the show be?
Love Island, and Taylor Gatt and Ruby Tripodi would be on it. And that'll do.
That'll do. Now, Obviously, with the post-game celebrations and all this, you're obviously having some interesting things. Best dancers / singers at the club, or who thinks they're good but they're not.
Well, Blah can actually really sing. She can play piano and sing really well. So, best singer, no doubt. But who's the best dancer? Goodness me. Well, Ash has no rhythm. Like, she can't follow a beat, which doesn't help.
No.
Lots of us. We all love the dance floor, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That I can't think of one. Oh, maybe I can. Can I? Ferg's good because Ferg enjoys the celebration, so we'll just go with that.
That's right. Now, if teammates were to form a music band, who would be in that band, and what would the band name be?
Goodness. Well, I can sing.
Yes, there we go.
I can play guitar, so maybe I'll go in there.
Yep.
Jenna can be on the triangle. Oh goodness. I don't know who else.
Yep.
Maybe Tessa Boyd. She's pretty cool.
Yep.
What could the band name be? I have no idea what the band name could be. You might have to come back to me on that.
Nice, very rogue one. Now, how well? Now, also, you've been in the club for 4 or 5 seasons now. So, how well do you feel like you know your own team? Do you think you know every single one? Well, excluding the ones that maybe just got picked up now, but prior to this year's trade bin draft periods, do you reckon you know every single other player on the list really well?
Pretty well, I would say.
Okay. All right. So, how this will work? This is a teammate quiz. Now, how this will work? I'll give you 3 clues. Now, when I give you I'll give you 2 clues. You have to guess. If you get it wrong, I'll give you the final clue. And if you don't get it, well, then obviously you're wrong. So the first one, I start off easy, but then I try and make it get harder. So the first player, they're obviously all current North Melbourne AFLW players. The first player this year, they are from Tasmania, and they've played over 70 AFLW games currently.
Is it Flash?
That's not Nicole Bersham. No, that's strike one. The last clue, they averaged 21 disposals this year.
Well, there's only one other. It has to be Mia.
And that's exactly who it is. It's
I
Mia
didn't know
King.
she played so many games.
72 to be precise. I know, a lot. Right, the next one. So that's strike one. So hopefully you at least get something. I think the lowest anyone's ever gotten out of 5 is 2. So let's hope you get at least 2. Right, the next one. She's a sharpshooter, and she's kicked over 50. Played over 50 games. I don't even speak. That's the first 2 clues.
Sharpshooter and played sharp. What does sharpshooter mean?
Okay.
Accurate or like kicks
a
lots of
dead
goals?
eye in front of goal. A dead eye in front of goal, and she don't miss.
Doesn't miss, and she's played over 50 games.
Well, basically, in other words, has shots at goals and barely misses. So it might be a forward, maybe.
What?
I can't give everything so easy.
Okay.
I'm not going to spell out the name for you or the jumper number even.
Played over 50 games, barely misses. Bella Reddy.
No. Right, the last clue is they've been an All-Australian in some point in their career.
Alice.
Yes, see? Sharpish doesn't miss in front of goal. That's well, at least you got one now. So that's another one, so that's all right. Right, so this should be a bit easier. This player has kicked 5 goals in their career. They missed out in the 2023 grand final. They're on the list, but they didn't play in it.
God, 2023 is so long ago.
That's what makes it hard. Clues. I can't make them all easy.
But they were on the list. 5 goals. Ruby Tripodi.
Yes, there you go. You didn't need the last clue. The other clue would have been they won back-to-back premierships like you.
Yep.
Right. 2 more. This player has only kicked 1 goal in their AFLW career thus far. They debuted in 2022.
One goal. Huh?
Yeah, just the one. I'm surprised it was only one when I researched this to make sure.
Only one.
Only one.
I'm going through the list. Only one.
Yep. Yep. And debuted in 2022.
2022.
Does not mean though
Erica.
they were 18 in 2022 either. What's that?
Erica.
Yes, it is Erica O'Shea. Yes, the other clue would have been had their milestone in this year's grand final. So yeah, good job.
Yeah.
So you're flying colours. Never worried. Right now, this is going to be the hardest one because I've made this very technical. Right, so they played prior to North Melbourne at some point in their state league career. I didn't even know this. They played for Collingwood in the VFLW. And they've played between precisely 40 to 76 AFLW games. Somewhere in between that. Doesn't mean it's 76. Somewhere in between that.
Is it Ferg?
Damn it. Yes, it is. Damn, okay. Oh, good job. 5 for 5.
Yeah.
The other clue would have been they hadn't got a goal yet. I have spoken to Jez a few times. I said, got to tell Croc, just to sneak down one game when you're up by 50 points. There's a few chances of that's being the case. Just sneak down forward, get that goal and get it on the bucket list.
She doesn't want to.
Yeah,
she doesn't want to.
Doesn't she lied to me then? She said does want one, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, there you go. Different answers. Okay. Anyway, the last one, Tess, I do really appreciate you coming on. What is some advice you would give to young girls and boys that want to get into play the AFL and AFLW levels, and kind of how you kind of got to your path as well?
Goodness. Advice. Goodness me. I think oh gosh, advice.
Got ya.
I would think it's never too late. Like it's never too late to make it. And the reason I say that is because like in my juniors, I had to go through a realization that I wasn't at a point to get drafted and I needed to change that. And most people, at least, especially now looking in like the juniors, like you look at the stars from when they're 16, 17, sorry, when they're like 15, 16, very young and it's getting younger. And I probably didn't really get noticed as being someone who could be drafted until I was 18. And that's just because it took, I don't know, I had to realize that it wasn't like I had to actually reckon with the fact that it wasn't going to happen for me unless I changed something. And like we spoke about Ailish before, and look what she's done with her career that started at 29. It's never too late, and it's okay. And probably this kind of the same thing, like admitting you're not great at something or admitting you don't know something is a strength. Like it's all good and well to know what you're good at, and you do need to know what you're good at, and you need to make sure you remind yourself of that when sometimes, you know, you can be critical on yourself and everything. But knowing what you need to work on is just, if not more, powerful. And if you can readily admit when you don't know something or when something's not your strength, and you're willing to learn and you're willing to be bad at something in order to be great at it, then you're ahead of a lot of people, because it can be an uncomfortable truth that you're not good at something. But I think that's where you really grow as a person and as an athlete.
Absolutely. Some very good advice. Now, Tess, I've got to ask one more bonus one. I just remembered this. I've got to ask this. Now, I heard through the grapevine that you were a handy cricketer too, and you had a bit of a decision to make at some point.
Goodness me, where have you heard that from?
Oh, I wonder who. I can tell you off camera.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true. I did used to play a bit of cricket.
Any good batter, bowler, all rounder? Any were you one of those people that if you were a batsman, you just wanted to slog everything? And I got a motto in my own cricket to only deal in boundaries, so fours and sixes, and only deal in wickets. What type of player were you? Were you those test match players that just block everything? Were you a slogger? Were you in between? Are you an all-rounder, bench warmer, scorer, umpire? What would you class yourself with, the cricketer?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I did a bit of everything because that's like what you do in juniors.
Yeah.
But I made sure I did everything. So I wicket kept as well and bowled and
Oh, okay.
everything
Yeah.
just to, keep it all interesting.
Mm.
But yeah, I was probably more of a batter. Yeah.
Highest
And
score?
114 not out.
Oh God. Very, very good. Very impressive. Do you remember that day?
I'm a bit of a test batter. I did not like getting out, so I tried to.
No.
It's very rare.
Sure, no one loves getting out, trust me, especially LB. That is going to be the worst feeling. Every time you're the batsman in an LBW decision, you are never, ever out. And when you're the bowler and it hits them on the pad, it could be going down like everything, and it's always out.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Anyway, Tess, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you again for coming on. Well done for being a back-to-back premiership player, and all the best in the preseason and for what brings this year again. I appreciate you coming on.
No worries, Cooper. Thanks so much.